Welcome back. This is Adam West of Smart Transportation Division. Today we're going to be looking at late or no lunch for the first or second lunch period on Code 40. We're going to be looking at the Article 13 of the B&O Agreement. This letter of interpretation explains the penalties. Article 13 provides that yardmen will be allowed 20 minutes for lunch between 4 1/2 and 6 hours after starting work. They will not be required to work longer than 6 hours without being allowed 20 minutes for lunch. Yardmen working in excess of 8-hour period will be allowed 20 minutes for a second lunch after the expiration of 5 hours and 40 minutes from the time the first lunch period was completed. It's important to monitor these times and to request to the yardmaster lunch and record when yardmaster says no, or you're going to be taking late lunch. Whatever it is, it's the burden's on us to prove our case. I want to point out in this paragraph here, as you are aware, our members, your employees, are required to work longer than 5 hours and 40 minutes without a lunch. They are entitled to a penalty equal to 20 minutes pay at the prorated rate. In addition, their crew is still entitled to their lunch, and if they work in excess of 8 hours, they will be allowed a second 20-minute lunch period at the expiration of 5 hours and 40 minutes from the time their first lunch period was complete. If they are denied the second lunch, they will be entitled to a 20-minute at the punitive rate as the recognized penalty. To elaborate, there's 5 scenarios here and the penalty associated with them. 8 hours worked, no lunch allowed. 20 minutes at the penalty rate, which is 1.5. So on the claim screen, we'll want to turn in 30 minutes. Over 6 hours and lunch late allowed, 20 minutes at the pro rata rate, so just 20 minutes in a penalty. More than 5 hours, 40 minutes after completion of first lunch with no second lunch allowed. 20 minutes at the penalty rate, so 30 minutes is a penalty that you would enter in the text box. More than 5 hours and 40 minutes after the completion of first lunch, second lunch allowed late. 20 minutes at the pro rata rate, 20 minutes is the penalty. More than 11 hours and 40 minutes, neither first nor second lunch allowed. 40 minutes at the penalty rate, which would be 1 hour. 20 minutes for each missed lunch period. The engineer agreement reads slightly different. Yard engineers will be allowed 20 minutes for lunch between 4 1/2 to 6 hours. And then, where practical, an engineer will be allowed to eat off the locomotive in a sanitary condition where utilities are within approximate of their location when due or instructed to take their lunch. And that 20 minutes should reasonably apply to allowing time to secure their locomotives and prepare to eat. Paragraph B, yard engineers be allowed reasonable time and no less than 20 minutes for a second lunch period when they're required to work in excess of 5 hours and 40 minutes after expiration of their first lunch period. C, engineer be required to double from one shift to another, be given reasonable time between the shifts to eat. Paragraph D is where the penalties come in. The penalties for the engineer only have 2 scenarios. Yard engineers not granted lunch period in accordance with paragraph A, the first lunch, will be allowed 20 minutes at the pro rata rate in addition to the other earnings. And if not granted their second lunch period in accordance with paragraph B above, which is second lunch, they'll be allowed 20 minutes at the overtime rate in addition to other earnings. And question and answers associated with: if an engineer is not provided an opportunity to take lunch where sanitary facilities and utilities are available, but instead told to remain on the locomotive for lunch, will he be considered of having properly been tied up for lunch under this rule? No, engineer who is required to remain on the locomotive for lunch is not considered as having properly taken lunch under this rule. Payment described in this article will be paid. Again, it's up to us to ask to take lunch upstairs, not volunteer to eat lunch on a locomotive. Volunteer to eat lunch on a locomotive, that doesn't apply to you. And our case at hand today, the engineer and conductor was not allowed a second lunch after the completion of their first lunch. In our table here, that would be a 20 minutes at the penalty rate. You have more than 5 hours, 40 minutes after completion of first lunch with no lunch allowed. 20 minutes at penalty rate. And in the agreement, if not granted, their second lunch period in accordance with B will be allowed a 20-minute at the overtime rate in addition to other earnings. So we need to turn in a claim for both engineer and conductor for 30 minutes. Let's move over to the claim screen. We're at csxcrewlife.com. Go to payroll tab, payroll claims. The train, Y201, 22. The claim date is the day of incident, November 22nd. Kind of service code is 5 for the yard, K6 for subdivision code, and since we have a yard service here, a yard code is required here. The only time you need a yard code is when you're using a yard service. Search, no employees claims exist. And 6-digit, 5 last name, 40, 30 minutes. Foreman, 6-digit ID number. First 5 letters of last name. And qualifier hours, 30 minutes. Text, T in the text box, con code 40. Submit. What time did your assignment go on duty? 14:30. Was a meal taken? You can hit no. That's they should have more than one meal question there. First meal was taken, and it was taken at 20:10. And second meal was not taken at all. Let's see what error message we get. First real missed late time. Reason not applicable. Denied by Guardmaster Eater to finish switching. All right, let's see what happens with this. Took it, because now we're on a Concode 44 cable. 1430. Yes, but here we go for the first meal. 2010. The second meal is never taken. And applicable. Reason. And person who authorized. All right, this is the claim text box for Concode 40. And we are back. And we're back. Please allow 30 minutes per the respective agreements for being denied second lunch. B&O Article 13, SSA 19. First lunch finished at 20:30 and was denied second lunch when asked an order to finish switching out the list that was provided. You could probably go on and say that second lunch should have started 5 hours and 40 minutes after the first lunch is over. Second lunch should have started at 02:10. And that's about it. If you had any more evidence in here that could help out, times, messages, anything of that sort that you can actually put in here, the more the merrier. And go ahead and hit the save button here. And the text has been entered. Press submit to continue. You've entered 30 minutes. Press submit or make changes to the claim. Submit again. 30 minutes. Submit. The claim has been successfully submitted. Again, your amount here would be determined upon those scenarios that are shown earlier in this video. And whether or not you're capable of, as far as an engineer, capable of leaving the locomotive for your lunch. And that's how we do Concode 40s. If this video is helpful, hit the like button. I'm Adam West of Smart Transportation Division. Thank you for watching.